Recorded.
Welcome back to All Right Podcast. Here you have Elijah alongside Grant. A little bit of technical difficulties here, but we're gonna, we're just gonna do it live. And we're looking at the Lions. 7-7 has never felt so good. That's something we talked about. Last week, just fighting hard to come back to the city. 7-7, they got the job done. However it was, kind of a gritty game, pulled it out. And coming to throw it over to you. See what your thoughts are on our 500 7-7 Lions.
Yeah, was it 500 for the first time in 5 years?
Woo.
In December? Yeah, man. I feel like it's been a lot longer than that, but not hard fought win, like you said. And it was good to just kind of see. I thought the last couple weeks it's really kind of been dominating their opponent. You know what I mean? And just like what you love to see. But I'm glad to see how they respond on the road. Just being able to. Responding, being on the road, just being able to ultimately get the job done. They literally got that, they scored that final touchdown, I think inside 2 minutes or inside 3 minutes. Impressed how the defense, how they responded. Kind of wish we didn't let Zach Wilson get some of them ducks off that he got off, but I'm glad we at least got one interception off of him. Probably could have legit had like 3 or 4 the way he was just kind of throwing them out there. Things didn't go, it didn't go our way the whole time, but I like how we responded on the road, and it's a good victory, good solid victory.
Yeah, no, I've taken a lot of that. Just a good solid victory on the road. Those are hard to come by regardless. Hard to come by when you're playing a team in a similar predicament as you, have some wins under their belt, beat some teams that had no business beating, lost some teams that had no business losing to, kind of a team that mirrors us from, in a way. But you still found a way to go out there. You didn't know who you were going to face at quarterback to the last minute. I would personally luckily it was Zach Wilson. That is the name of the game as well on the way to the playoffs, is getting some of those breaks like that, where you play the backup, or, you can steal a win versus a guy that, wasn't in the starting role the whole year. And but overall, I just say another badge of honor as far as just pulling out a good gritty victory, and I would say one thing that really stood out to me is the team has an identity. And that as mad as we are about, or as much as we've talked about the fourth down Dan and all that, it seems to have kind of worked in our favor to a certain degree when we run plays like the go ahead touchdown. Yeah, the go ahead touchdown to the tight end. One of those type of plays. I think I've probably gone for still the most times in NFL, if not definitely in the top of that chart there. And I would say just us doing that enough or so much, they kind of thought they knew what we were going to do. And great play call. And I would say that was something that earlier in the year I just would not have gone our way. And I would say that's kind of the how we seem to have turned a page, where those plays are going our way. And those make all those plays calls seems that much better. You are a genius at coach if you do a fourth down play call and you get it, especially for a 50-yard touchdown.
Right.
So I would say that's just kind of feeding into our success. And one thing I've kind of realized about, and I'm kind of ranting at this point, about Dan Campbell is he seems to be kind of a front runner, meaning when things are going well, it's easy to root for him. It's easy to get behind him and say, he's the type of coach and the type of guy that when things are going well, it's easy to get behind, the macho, we're going to go out there and do it. He just, but it's also so much harder to bear when you're losing games. So I would say him being that front runner is really kind of showing that's what he need, that helps him out. Some coaches like to be the underdog, and he's really showing his role that if we can go out here and get this momentum and I could be a front runner and we can kind of have people on their heels versus coming in kind of shy. That's kind of all team success is what brings our team success. So overall, hey, you, like I said last week, you do all this to get back to, you're washed. You're basically 0-0 at this point.
Yep.
You win the next couple of games here, you're in the playoffs. You're in the driver's seat. You don't even
Yeah.
really, my last thing I've said, you don't even have to have a lot of help from other people. You go out there and do what you need to do, and you can make sure you're in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, and I think they're in a situation. I haven't looked at it all that close yet because I'm still, it's kind of hard to believe at this point in the year.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure if they just went out, and I
Mhm.
think if they can,
I think so.
I mean, whether New York or Washington lose a couple times in between now and then. I was looking at the schedules, kind of that bottom. Like I said, we're the 9th seed. Then you got Seattle, and then the 7th seed, I believe, is um, New York now. I think Washington still might kind of be in there. Or I'm tripping. It's I had him. It's right on the screen here. I
I was
can
gonna say because you're not saying.
so, man, what a Monday! Wow. Yeah, I can look at my screen here and ultimately tell you, what things look like overall. And I do feel like they are in a situation where they can, pretty much win out. Maybe a little bit of help here and there, but I don't think they need anything like drastic or dramatic to happen. You know what I'm saying? I think, as long as they can just kind of control what they can control. I know, yeah, I mean, overall, they can control and do what they need to do. They'll have a pretty good shot at it. And I just think too, man, like, so I know like like you were saying, like it's kind of back to the identity thing. It just, at first it was kind of like, fourth down, go for it on fourth down, go for it on fourth down. Now I feel like, we're aggressive, but we just, he's kind of made some minor tweaks. So offense, the coaching staff overall has kind of made some minor tweaks to just ultimately say like, we can definitely operate like this, but like, we gotta be a little bit smarter, about it, and really just try to, do what we can, not like put ourselves in a bad spot. They even tried to put themselves in a bad spot when they went for it on one of the fourth downs, didn't get it, and they gave it
Yeah.
to Wilson at midfield.
Yeah. No, I do agree with that. And just we do still have those mistakes. But obviously all of that gets cured with winning. You win, nobody talks about those ones. We lose, we're on here pointing out that play in particular. That's just, that's the nature of the game there. But what I will say is, outside of all that, we're taking the points more than we were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, we act like we didn't have a field goal kicker.
Mhm.
Period. There were jokes on other podcasts about, signing high school kids around in the area that could hit 40-yarders because we thought we could.
Right.
I would say we've turned the page on that, and you picking up those. I mean, those 3 points here, 3 points there. That is the difference between this 3-point win here or a loss. So I would
Mhm.
say those are the things we have done. I think, and he's learning on the fly a little bit as well, like you're saying. We made those adjustments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I looked, and we are averaging 126 rushing yards a game. Very serviceable.
Yes.
Obviously nothing to like.
Especially in this NFL, like, I mean, teams can barely run the ball.
Mhm. Yeah, so very serviceable. That's helping out everybody. That's keeping the defense off the field. Who, obviously, they're night and day better than they were at the start of the year, but they're still not. They're giving up yards. They're still kind of like
Yeah.
a faucet. But in general, that's keeping them off the field. That's keeping golf comfortable. That's making the play action work. That's and that's obviously big thing due to the offensive line who's getting the job done as well. So I would say, regardless of who's back there at running back, regardless of who's catching the ball at receiver, they're keeping golf up. They're keeping holes open for the running backs as well. So I mean, it is shocking. I mean, to think that was it 1-6 or 1-5? 1-6, I believe.
Yeah.
It is completely shocking that we're here, and really it comes down to that 1-1, fairly tough loss to the Giants, or not the Giants, the Bills, and
Yeah.
we would be sitting real pretty, and we rattle off
100%.
6 or 7 in a row would be incredible. But
Yeah.
um,
I mean, you want to look at it like, 'cause I know it's, obviously majority of the fan base going to be super excited just because where we're at right now. If we could have beat Minnesota first time around and then got that Bills game, we'd be first in the division.
Yeah.
Because we've already beat the Bears one time, beat the Packers. So yeah, if we would have got that Vikings game, we would have found a way to, pull that Bills game off, pull off the Seattle game. Like literally, we would have, got a couple of them wins, 2 out of 3 of the wins I just named, or I just rattled, or the losses that we ended up, having, I just rattled off. whole different spot. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, man, I mean, it's good to see. I mean, I think we always talked about, 6-10, 6-11, 7-10 kind of being a sweet spot. And all this, and in the background, we got, Rams, can't stand the Packers. Wouldn't hate to see the Rams lose tonight just because that would, give us even more of an opportunity to have like a top 5 pick. So that makes it even better. Like you can watch this team week in, week out and say like, all right, like these, you got to win this one. Like these games matter to win. And then in the back pocket, we got a, potential like top 5, top 8 pick for the draft.
Yeah. I mean, best of both worlds. Yeah. I mean, that's
Mhm.
most of the time we'll be sitting around talking about another team saying, oh my God, I can't believe they're about to be in the playoffs or about to be, and they got 2 top 5. Why can't we do that? And
Right.
we actually have a chance for that to happen. And
Right.
a
And now too,
realistic
we're also doing
possibility.
ourselves a favor. We're also doing ourselves a favor with the free agency.
Mm.
That's something that, like, a lot of them guys in 1-year deal or deals going up around the league haven't done the deep dive into draft free agency quite yet. But you just hope that there's guys that are just maybe things aren't going so well where they're at right now. Deal is up. They're not going to be getting what they want. Hopefully we can. I mean, it'd be great to be able to fill some of the defensive needs, with some veteran leadership. So
Agreed.
we're doing ourselves a lot of favors right now. And I think I'm not, we're not content with where we're at right now, but I think we did ourselves a lot of favors, whether we finish 10-7 or 7-10. You know what I'm saying? Like 8-9, 9-8. Like I think, we've shown that we're starting to, Campbell, give him credit. He's starting to put together a nice little program to where I think people want to hopefully be a part of it, going forward too.
Yes. And this is just what I want to say as far as the playoff picture. So I just looked it up. New York Giants. New York Giants finish off with the Vikings, the Colts, and the Eagles. 3 fairly tough games, obviously.
Yep.
And then the Commanders finish off 49ers, Browns, Cowboys. So I would say we, as far as the comparison, we have favorable, end of the schedule compared to them. I got to look at the Seahawks.
Right.
And then, so I would just say in general, we're finishing off, we're versus 3 teams more or less not in the playoff, nowhere near the playoff hunt. And then Seahawks have Chiefs, Jets, Rams. So obviously Chiefs powerhouse, you're gonna run into a buzzsaw there. And then 2 teams very obviously beatable near the end. So more similar to us as far as the last couple of games here. And obviously we had a loss to them earlier in the year, and it says that on the head-to-head here. So in general, just a great feeling that we have a lot of this momentum going. And I truly think we do. I don't know. I want to say, as a fan, I want them to get to that, however it looks, but get to that 9 and what are we, 9-8?
Yeah.
You get to that 9-8 above 500, and whether that's obviously I want to be in the playoffs, but whether that is or not, that's something we can build on. Over 500, 2 good draft picks, lots of free agent money, young studs all over. I think that's something we could be happy about. But obviously, I want to get in the playoffs. But you go ahead and win them two games and do what you're supposed to do. Let the rest handle itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. You turn the season into, now it's a 3-game season. You got 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got back to 500. You washed 3-game season here.
Yep.
Agreed. Versus teams you can win. Obviously, you don't want to go on. I feel like every damn year we got to finish at the Packers. That's a conspiracy theory itself. But
yeah.
In general, tough. Yeah, you go to arguably the coldest stadium in the last game of the year. But
for our sake, you hope that Rodgers, because I think if they find a way to lose tonight, hopefully they sit Rodgers between now and we're looking at Jordan Love instead. Oh, yeah. Just be an outside chance. It could be as soon as the Packers kind of like knock themselves from playoff contention, I think they would end up moving on and just playing him more, hopefully. Yeah. So we can at least make him look forward to.
Yeah, no, 100%. I just no, I mean, I don't know. I guess I gotta I'm not gonna do the apology yet to him, but I will give Dan Campbell a little bit. He's this season has been fun to be a Lions fan again. We fought back into it.
Yep.
And those tough losses have turned into good wins. So
Right.
yeah, no, I agree.
100%. Yeah. No, he'll be good in my book whenever he stops giving young, inexperienced quarterbacks short fields. We
Touche.
love doing that for some odd reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we can definitely, start to kind of talk about this next matchup. They go to Carolina, Christmas Eve. Carolina's been one of them teams this year, man. I mean, they, everybody thought after they traded McCaffrey and after they, kind of started, we're talking about offloading people. They actually, ended up like almost banding together and really just find a way to beat some teams they didn't have no business beating. They lost pretty tough one to the Steelers. Played them pretty well. Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts kind of going to this game? I think, Carolina, this is a dangerous game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're out of the playoff contention. Actually, I don't know. In that division, they might still be in playoff contention.
You honestly are probably right because what's name only got 6 wins.
Yeah, so I'll take that back. They fight for a playoff spot too, if I'm not mistaken.
How nasty is that?
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that being said, I mean, what are your thoughts on the game coming up? Got some
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I would say another team, I hate to go back to the same old story, but it really does depend. As much as we just talked good about the Lions, it depends on who's going to show up. Another tough road opponent. A team like you said, they're kind of spinning around. They brought in Baker Mayfield. They already had last year. They brought in my man that used to be for the Sam Darnold, and they got the XFL quarterback that came in, and they got a lot happening around there.
I think he's the starter right now, honestly.
Yeah, I think he is. So in general, I just think they have a lot happening, but somehow are still putting together some wins. So I would say this is one of those games where they would love to kind of come play spoil. I could see that. Especially if the Bucs are going to be backing into the playoffs, they might. They would love to. Who knows? They might try to get into playoffs at 7-10 or something. But in general, I agree with you on this. And we just got to keep another clean game and just keep doing what we're doing here. But in general, I do. They're having me build confidence. These are all these games. This is a game I would have said we would have won back in the summer. So it's hard for me to say now that we're actually putting something together that it would be a loss. But definitely a tough one here. And now you're starting to see. I was wondering at the start of the year, like, damn, we're playing all these home games. Now we're catching up to us here. On the road again, and overall, I do. I don't know. I just think we're gonna have it here. Oh, I see his name right here. Walker. I could not think of his damn name to save my life.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, it's like I said, it's one of these. It's definitely a perfect opportunity to get got. They went to New York and did what they did, and won that game in amazing fashion, and won at last minute. I think the key gonna be just really keeping Foreman, as he's kind of been their bread and butter since McCaffrey got traded, and they've given him the ball quite a bit. He's got a couple 100-yard games the last 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season. I mean, I think I'm to the point where I feel like they can just kind of keep him under wraps, and then get pressure on whoever's at quarterback. I think it might be Darnold now. I think it's that's really the perfect formula right there. Just in doing that and just not getting in our own way. Continuing to just play pretty much mistake-free football. Knock on wood. I don't think we turned the ball over at least the last couple weeks. If I'm not mistaken. So it's something that we hopefully can continue to keep up, and I think that'd really be one of these games where you're on the road. You got to just make sure you're not getting in your own way and just doing what you can to execute where you need to.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, like you said earlier, kind of a joking fashion, but it's true. Just continue to make the right coaching decision, not giving short fields,
right?
And setting that defense out there. That defense is fun to watch. They're flying all over. The defensive line is firing. They're disrupting. I read or heard, I should say, that I think they have 100 pass rushes. What would they call it? Pressures. 100 pressures during this win streak here.
Wow.
That's most in the NFL. So you're leaning onto the high teens, mid teens every week as far as pressures, and that's going to be whether you're a good quarterback or not. That's how you disrupt any good quarterback is keeping them off their base, keeping them moving, and they're doing that week in and week out. So
Mhm.
much more of that, much of the same, and and then you never want to say this, but lean on that run game, and hopefully Golf can still make some of these big throws that he's been making. And
Yeah.
but I think they can sneak it out. One of those things you did all the hard work just getting back to where you are here, so it'd be a shame to fumble it.
Right. 100%. 100%. Yeah, I think ready to give a score prediction here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, man, I think they're definitely gonna get it done. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 24-16, 24-19. I think it'll be, I think it'll be close, but I just feel like, the way they're playing right now, I just kind of see them just, ultimately just wanting a little bit more than Carolina does, just, from a momentum standpoint. So we'll see though. Carolina's come off a loss. So it's, teams usually just tend to respond a little bit well after a loss, but I think the Lions will find a way to get this done too on the road.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Similar ballpark, but I'm going, 27-20, somewhere around there, 27-23 maybe. And Lions just find a way to, go out there and sneak it out. Maybe it's not sexy again, but once again, it's chugging along. And yeah, no, I agree. Just getting it done, chugging along inch by inch. And I can't even believe we're having these conversations. I would have thought
look at number 2 in the NFC North. Look at it.
That's not a typo. Yeah, no, I agree. No, full disclosure to the viewers, I was ready to give up on them right about Thanksgiving. Let's transition. I don't know.
1,000%. Everybody was.
Yeah, I agree. So let's keep it interesting. And no, I agree. Let's get it done. I'm gonna go ahead and give me a jersey if they go to 8-7.
Okay, that's on record.
Thanks. All right. You got any news for the people? Did you ever cut your beard off if they make the playoff challenge, or that was the Pistons?
That was the Pistons. Pump the brakes.
Being safe.
Basketball, NBA. No, that's all I got, man. Just looking forward to seeing if they can keep it rolling.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll be back.